Alright, let's talk about one of the most important, yet most overlooked pieces of engineering in your daily life. I'm talking about the humble lead-acid battery. You probably have one in your car, your boat, or maybe even your emergency backup system at home. Think of it as the silent, powerful heart that springs to life when you need it most. It's the reason your car's engine roars to life with a simple turn of the key. It's a classic old-school technology, but it's stuck around for over 150 years because it's reliable, powerful, and relatively cheap to make. So, what is this thing really? Imagine a simple box filled with a bunch of lead plates, some positive and some negative. Okay, so we've established that lead-acid batteries are awesome, but like any awesome science experiment, they come with some serious safety warnings. The first major hazard is the stuff inside sulfuric acid. This isn't the vinegar you put on your salad. This is a highly corrosive chemical that can cause severe burns if it gets on your skin, or even worse, in your eyes. It will eat through your clothes faster than a squirrel through an acorn, so you have to treat it with the utmost respect. The second big danger is a bit more explosive. Yes, I said explosive. When a lead-acid battery is charging, it goes through a process called electrolysis. If this gas builds up in a poorly ventilated area, all it takes is a tiny spark to cause a powerful explosion. Then there's the electricity itself. A car battery might only be 12 volts, which sounds harmless, but it can deliver hundreds of amps of current. Finally, let's not forget about the lead part of the lead-acid battery. Lead is a heavy metal and it's toxic. Before you even think about touching that battery, we need to assemble our safety gear. This is your superhero costume for this mission, and skipping it is not an option. First and foremost, on our list are safety goggles or a full-face shield. This is non-negotiable. Next up, we need to protect our hands. Get yourself a pair of chemical-resistant gloves, specifically ones rated for acid. It's also a good idea to wear old, long-sleeved clothing that you don't mind getting ruined. A heavy-duty apron can add another great layer of protection. Now for the tools of the trade. You'll want a battery terminal cleaner. This is a special wire brush tool designed specifically for cleaning the posts and cable clamps. You'll also need a set of wrenches that fit the nuts on your battery terminals. A small cup of baking soda mixed with water will be our magic cleaning solution. And one of the most important but often forgotten tools is simply good ventilation. If you're working in a garage, open the door all the way. Create a cross breeze if you can. Your safety kit is your first line of defense against everything that can go wrong. Alright, you're geared up and ready to go. The first step in any service mission is a thorough inspection. You need to assess the situation before you start wrenching on anything. Start by just looking at the battery. Does the case have any cracks, bulges, or signs of leaking? A bulging battery case is a major red flag. It often means the battery has been overcharged or has frozen, causing the internal plates to warp and the case to swell. Next, check the battery terminals and cable connections. This is where you will often find the classic sign of trouble corrosion. Wiggle the battery cables gently. They should be completely snug and should not move at all. Now let's look at the battery hold-down clamp. This is the bracket that physically secures the battery in its tray. Finally, if you have a non-sealed or serviceable battery, you'll need to check the electrolyte level. Carefully pry these caps off with a flathead screwdriver. Look down into each cell. You should see the electrolyte fluid covering the top of the lead plates inside. If your inspection revealed that dreaded corrosion monster, it's time for Operation Cleanup. But before we start scrubbing, we have to disconnect the battery. Always, and I mean always, disconnect the negative terminal first. Loosen the nut on the terminal clamp and gently twist and pull the cable off the post. Tuck it away to the side so it can't accidentally touch the post again. Now that the battery is safely disconnected, we can mix up our magic cleaning solution. Take a small disposable cup and mix a few tablespoons of baking soda with a little bit of water to form a paste. Apply this paste generously to the terminals and the cable ends using an old toothbrush. You'll see it start to bubble and fizz as it works its magic, neutralizing the acid. Once the bubbling has subsided, it's time to bring in the muscle, the battery terminal cleaner tool. Use the internal wire brush to scrub the battery posts, twisting it around until the lead is shiny and bright. Then, use the external wire brush to clean the inside of the cable clamps. You want to remove all of the corrosion and expose clean, bare metal on both surfaces. After everything is scrubbed clean, we need to rinse it all off. Use a small amount of clean water to rinse away the baking soda paste and all the loosened corrosion. Once it's rinsed, dry everything thoroughly with a clean rag or paper towels. A clean, dry, and shiny connection is our goal, setting the stage for a reliable start every time you turn the key. If your pre-flight check revealed that your battery was thirsty, now is the time to give it a drink. This step only applies to non-sealed, serviceable batteries with removable caps. The most important rule here is to only, ever, use distilled water. Do not use tap water, bottled drinking water, or any other kind of water. Tap water contains minerals and impurities that will coat the lead plates inside the battery. This process, called sulfation, will ruin the battery's ability to hold a charge. Distilled water is pure H2O with all those minerals removed, so it's perfectly safe for the battery's chemistry. With the cell caps removed, take your distilled water and a turkey baster or a dedicated battery filler bottle. The goal is to add just enough water to bring the level up to the fill indicator. Do not overfill the cells. The electrolyte level needs some room to expand as the battery heats up during charging and driving. Once all the cells are at the proper level, securely replace the cell caps. Make sure they click or snap firmly into place to prevent any acid from splashing out while you're driving. After topping up the water, it's a good idea to put the battery on a slow charger for a few hours. This helps to mix the new water with the existing electrolyte. Now let's talk about the Hall of Shame. The common mistakes that people make when working with batteries. These are the things that can lead to damaged parts, personal injury, or just a whole lot of frustration. The number one mistake, hands down, is connecting or disconnecting the battery in the wrong order. Remember the rule, negative off first, negative on last. Another classic blunder is over-tightening the terminal clamps. The battery posts and the cable clamps are made of soft lead. If you crank down on them with all your might, you can easily distort the post. Here's one that seems obvious but happens all the time, laying metal tools on top of the battery. All it takes is for the wrench to shift slightly and touch both the positive and negative posts at the same time. Finally, a huge mistake is improper disposal. You cannot, under any circumstances, just throw an old lead-acid battery in the trash. It's full of toxic lead and corrosive sulfuric acid. The good news is that lead-acid batteries are one of the most recycled consumer products on the planet. Almost any place that sells car batteries is required by law to take your old one for recycling. Let's boil this all down to a simple cheat sheet. First, the DOs. Do always wear your safety goggles and gloves. This is your number one priority, every single time. Do always disconnect the negative terminal first and reconnect it last. This is the golden rule of battery work and the key to preventing accidental sparks and short circuits. Now, for the don'ts. Don't ever smoke, create sparks, or have an open flame near a battery, especially when it's charging. That hydrogen gas is no joke. And don't ever throw an old battery in the regular trash. Always take it to a proper recycling center or an auto parts store to be disposed of safely and responsibly. A well-maintained battery will not only last longer, saving you money, but it will also be there for you when you need it most. Regular safe maintenance is your best insurance policy against being stranded. So gear up, be safe, and give that unsung hero under your hood the attention it deserves. You're making a smart investment in your vehicle's health and your own peace of mind.